The very fact that we are here to observe a universe at all could be evidence that even if time travel is possible, it will never be discovered. Hey dude, I'm about to start the video. Yeah, I'm just finishing up. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Alright, are you ready for some time travel? Time travel is a fun gimmick for creative storytelling, but usually they stick to the surface level, changing a few things here, showing off one usage, and then leaving it at that. Almost never do they go into the full implications of what time travel technology would imply. Let's start with the simple stuff. Time travel would let a person look into their own future and see what's going to happen, which brings up the question of free will. If there's one course of events that's guaranteed to happen, do our choices actually mean anything? What is a choice? As sentient creatures, we have the ability to imagine possible futures based on things that we might do, and the results of these experiments, as judged by logic and emotion, determine what we end up doing. Whether you're comfortable calling that free will or not is up to you. The point is that there is a process called a choice, which causes our knowledge to influence what happens. Therefore, if the timeline cannot be changed, then knowing the future must cause you to make the choices that cause that future to happen. A self-fulfilling prophecy. I gotta get out of here. Which leads to a very strange phenomenon of time travel. Here, I have something for you. Oh, thanks. A djinn. In a closed time-like loop, it's possible for an object to go around in a circle and become its own past self. In fact, there are djinns in the book I'm writing for National Novel Writing Month, and they have magical powers, because sci-fi. Now realistically, djinns don't make a lot of sense. They could change easily in irreversible ways. You could accidentally scratch it, or, I don't know, breathe on it. But hypothetically, if the random motions of the molecules all worked out, we could have an eternal object with no efficient cause. It's hard to believe that something like that could be, although there's nothing in physics that says it can't exist. Strange phenomenon of time travel. Here, I have something for you. Oh, thanks. Talking about changing something irreversibly by breathing on it reminded me of something. Let's take a little detour into chaos theory. Take gravity, for example. Two objects orbit each other in ellipses, which are periodic and easy to predict. Three bodies, however, do some crazy random stuff until either two of them collide or one of them gets thrown off into space. Here's the thing. If we change the starting position of just one of the objects by even a tiny amount, the dance the three of them do ends up being completely different. That's chaos, and it's found all over the place. Ever heard of the butterfly effect? The idea is that if a butterfly flaps its wings, that motion could create eddies in the air that set off a cascade and build up until an entire thunderstorm is created that would not have existed if that wing flap had not happened. How this relates to time travel is that the probability of everything in the chaotic systems of the universe working out exactly right in order to cause themselves to happen is astronomically small. If we apply this to knowledge and choices, it seems very likely that we'll see something else. Self-defeating prophecies. Let's face it, self-defeating prophecies are going to be everywhere. People are going to want to change history, whether it's stopping loved ones from dying or photobombing a famous picture. Which brings us to the other interpretation of time travel, many worlds, sometimes called splitting timelines. The idea is that when you go back in time, you end up in a branch of the universe different from the one you left. Alright, now that we've gotten through the basic stuff, it's time to ramp things up. What we've gone through so far is what science fiction mostly focuses on, but they're really just the beginning of the true consequences of time travel. If a technology is possible, it's going to be used, and not just by small groups of adventurers. What happens when time travel falls into the hands of rival factions, criminals and law enforcement, political adversaries? Things are going to get messy. We all know stories where something was changed in the past, and the heroes go to change it back, like cleaning up a glass of milk that broke and spilled all over the floor. Problem is, unless the act of cleaning up eliminates the possibility of time travel from the entire future of the universe, more time travel kerfuffles are going to happen. If it's possible to change history, it's going to be changed over and over and over again. The number of tourists at famous events like the Gettysburg Address will be, let's see, if it becomes a standard part of the school curriculum and the universe lasts for 100 trillion years, that would be well over 30. And it doesn't matter if future societies make it illegal, even if all future societies agree. Like that would ever happen. Because making something illegal doesn't stop it from happening. So then we have time travel leading to time travel leading to time travel in an increasingly uncontrollable cascade. We have a word for this: entropy. As we've talked about in a previous video, one of the functions of entropy is determining the past from the future. The end of the universe happening when entropy is so high that nothing interesting can happen. Of course, the entropy due to time travel wouldn't increase over time, but would be applied to the entire universe beginning to end all at once. Time travel's weird that way. Thus, if we take time travel to its extreme limit, the same thing will happen that happens at the end of the universe, except it will be spread out through all of time. The universe would collapse into heat death very soon after the Big Bang. Yet we find ourselves in a universe which is A, hospitable to life, and B, doesn't seem to have any time travelers in it. This would be a good opportunity to use the anthropic principle. If many worlds are true, then there are a lot more universes with loads of time travelers than there are with few. So the probability that we would find ourselves in a universe that has few to none is astronomically small. However, if the timeline is immutable, it would be exceedingly strange if none of the things we talked about happen. So we have to invoke an idea even stranger than the anthropic principle: superdeterminism. In the fantasy series The Wheel of Time, a town faces a famine when several characters go into the storeroom and open up several sacks of grain to find they have rotted. Later, they return to the storeroom and open up the rest of the sacks to find them full of pure, nutritious grain. They just happen to have opened all the rotten sacks the first time. The story attributes it to the way the magic works in that world. Superdeterminism suggests something similar might happen whenever we do experiments to try to discover time travel. It could be that any sentient creature discovering time travel would lead to paradoxes and entropic collapse. Thus, no matter which experiments we do, we will happen every time by pure chance to get non-time traveling results. The very fact that we are here to observe a universe at all could be evidence that even if time travel is possible, it will never be discovered. Hey dude, I'm about to start the video. Yeah, I'm just finishing up. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Alright, are you ready for some time travel?